兄弟们，我这个哪吒应该是彻底废了。
Guys, my Neta car is probably done for. I can't control it with my phone anymore. I can't even lock or unlock it. The map doesn't work. There's no internet connection. I don't know if the company has completely shut down or what happened. I heard before they were restructuring, but I have no idea what's going on. This car was supposed to have a 500-kilometer range. I've only driven it over 60,000 kilometers, and not even 70,000. It's just 2 years old, registered in June 2023. I don't know if they'll manage to restructure and make our cars usable again, but right now, it's basically useless. The network is gone, just gone all of a sudden. I bought this car 2 years ago, paid 130,000 yuan for it. What am I supposed to do now?
On September 21st, a Neta owner complained that his car had lost its internet connection and he didn't know what to do. According to Chinese media, the company did notify some owners ahead of time, but it's unclear if anyone got the message. On September 11th, several owners received a sudden text. Your car has been disconnected. Please purchase data yourself. Since the car's internet provider cut off service, owners couldn't use remote controls, air conditioning switches, or online navigation. They now have to buy their own data packages to get basic functions back. Lenovo, the service provider, said Neta had failed to pay service fees for months. After repeated failed negotiations, they had no choice but to stop providing service. This cutoff ended Neta's promise of 3 years of free data. On September 21st, another Neta owner shared her frustration.
Hello, 宝贝们，我的哪吒微已经断网5天了。
Hi everyone, my Neta V has been offline for 5 days now. At first, I thought it would reconnect after a couple of days, but after all this time, it still doesn't work. I used to think I was lucky, since other Neta users had already lost internet, but mine still worked. I was secretly happy. Now it's gone too. I can't use navigation or listen to music in the car anymore. The only option is to connect to my phone's hotspot or buy their data package. But I don't want to spend money on that, so I just use my phone hotspot. Honestly, I can't even describe how it feels. 3 years ago, I never thought my car wouldn't even be able to connect to the internet, especially since they said it had lifetime free data. The warranty is already worthless because the company went bankrupt, but I really didn't expect the network to be gone too. These days, the unluckiest people are those who bought Evergrande apartments, or cars from Neta, Hi-Fi, or WM Motors. It's really tough. Another car owner asked, Can Neta come back to life? Mine is disconnected too. It's the first time. Does it really not work anymore? In June, the Chinese electric car brand Neta officially entered bankruptcy proceedings. That means their warranty promises to car owners are now just empty paper. One owner, Gao Cheng, told Chinese media that the 4S centers no longer have parts. If you want repairs, you have to pay out of your own pocket at regular auto shops. On September 12th, Neta Motors held its first creditors meeting after bankruptcy restructuring. This meeting revealed some troubling data. 1,631 creditors had filed claims, totaling over 26 billion yuan. Of that, only 5.1 billion yuan had been confirmed as valid claims. The company had just 15.45 million yuan left in funds, and it owed about 460 million yuan in wages to over 500 employees. Since 2025, multiple 4S stores in various cities and regions have suspended operations, leaving over 400,000 car owners facing the loss of warranties, difficulty finding parts, and even being denied car insurance. Buying a car is a struggle, and selling one isn't any easier. On September 23rd, a woman selling cars shared her frustration. Electric vehicles are no longer a good deal. They used to be a great option, but now, after the company went bankrupt, they're charging for things that used to be free. I sold a Neta car before, and the owner kept calling me, asking why the free data plan turned into a paid one, why the free warranty isn't free anymore. I told them, I can't do anything. The company went bankrupt, and everything that was free became paid. The first buyer didn't know this, and lost tens of thousands selling the car. If it's too much of a hassle, I can sell you a fuel car. It's only 30,000 yuan. It's simple, reliable, and cheap to repair. You won't have to pay thousands for a battery replacement like with an electric car. Another owner commented, lifetime warranty turned into a lifetime of trouble. 40,000 Neta car owners are locked out of their cars because of Bluetooth issues. Some owners faced battery issues with repair quotes of 6,000 yuan. In Beijing, due to the car's network service shutdown, an owner got stuck in a 40-degree car, desperately asking for help through the windows. This isn't a sci-fi movie. This is what real-life car owners are going through in 2024. These so-called smart cars are turning into electronic junk. The Chinese electric vehicle industry is going through an unprecedented shakeup. In the past decade, countless car companies have gone bankrupt, affecting millions of car owners. These new forces in the auto industry have all fallen, leaving not only empty factories, but tens of thousands of car owners stuck with after-sales problems, invalid warranties, no repair options, and vehicles with zero resale value. The after-sales liabilities left behind by these failed companies still need to be resolved. Automotive after-sales expert Song Chuan-ye explained that once a company goes bankrupt, its authorization system falls apart, rendering warranties useless. Car owners are forced to pay out of pocket for repairs at independent shops. Since repairs for EVs are more complicated, many shops hesitate to take them on, leaving car owners with little to no bargaining power. Car owner Liu Shan shared his experience. His Neta V had a battery problem, and when he went to a repair shop for an inspection, they charged him 1,000 yuan just to look at the issue without fixing it. He ended up spending 4,000 yuan to get it repaired. He joked, "Car owners are like lambs waiting to be slaughtered." Earlier, owners of WM Motors, which also went bankrupt, faced the same predicament. Chinese media cited owner Huang Ji, who said the promised lifetime warranty and charging station installation benefits couldn't be honored. The Bluetooth key also stopped connecting to the car, and the remote control functions completely failed. 2 years ago, all WM4S stores shut down, leaving 2,000 owners stranded. Now there's no after-sale service and no parts available. According to reports, renewing insurance has become a major problem for owners. After WM filed for bankruptcy restructuring, insurance premiums nearly doubled, and major insurance companies refused to renew their policies, forcing owners to buy insurance from smaller companies. Owner Li Ling's premium increased from 3,700 yuan to 5,100 yuan, and she was told that her car damage insurance couldn't be renewed. M's repair technician Zhang He opened a WM specialty repair shop and now serves around 3,000 car owners from Hebei, Liaoning, Shandong, and other regions. It's not just companies like WM that have gone bankrupt. Even luxury car brands like BMW, Porsche, and Mercedes-Benz have seen their 4S stores close. According to Chinese media, BMW's first ever 5S store in Beijing shut down last October, and the largest Audi 4S store in Tianjin also closed. In Guangdong, the Yong'al Group, due to a cash flow crisis, had over 80 of its 4S stores closed. Statistics from the China Automobile Dealers Association show that 2,540 4S stores closed in 2023, setting a new record. From 2020 to 2023, over 8,000 4S stores disappeared from the market. The sudden dealerships has left hundreds of car owners unable to complete vehicle transfers, with some who paid deposits unable to pick up their cars, and even cases where owners found their cars had been repossessed by banks when they went to pick them up.
I dare say, in the next 2 or 3 years, at least half of the electric car physical stores will close. How? They dug their own graves. They've been waiting for customers every day. But what happened? They didn't make money and ended up with huge costs.
One person shared, "Even the leading Chinese car maker, NIO, is facing a crisis." NIO was once dubbed the Chinese Tesla for its high-end positioning, smart technology, and extreme customer service. But now, its second quarter 2025 financial report revealed a net loss of nearly 5 billion yuan, with an average loss of 69,000 yuan per car sold. This is on top of a first quarter loss of 675 billion yuan, bringing the total 10-year net loss to over 130 billion yuan, far exceeding Tesla's losses during its first 15 years. By June 30th, NIO's current liabilities reached 62.28 billion yuan, with a debt-to-asset ratio of 92.55%. Its cash reserves of 27.2 billion yuan are only enough to cover operations for 1 more year. Founder Li Bin had been forced to adjust the company's profitability timeline again, now aiming for full profitability by 2026. After the financial report was released, NIO's Hong Kong stock plummeted by 17%, and its market value shrank by over 10 billion Hong Kong dollars, signaling a severe loss of confidence. NIO's financial troubles haven't come out of nowhere. The company has relied on policy subsidies and capital injections to stay afloat, but its high R&D costs, battery swap network, and direct sales model have led to continuous losses. From January to July, NIO delivered 145,000 new cars, just 30% of its annual target of 440,000 units. This isn't just a crisis for NIO, it's a snapshot of the entire Chinese EV industry. Official data shows that in the first half of 2025, China's EV sales reached 6.9 million units, a 40% year-on-year growth, with a market penetration rate of 44.3%. However, behind this booming surface, the industry is facing a structural crisis with low profits, severe losses, and a broken cash flow. In the first half of this year, China's EV industry accelerated its reshuffling, with rising market concentration. Increasingly, the top tier of companies dominates the market, while smaller players are collapsing. BYD, with its scale and full industrial chain layout, remains the leader, with 2.1 million units sold and a market share of over 33%. Tesla leads in the foreign market, delivering over 720,000 units globally, with a 44.7% market share in the US. Meanwhile, many small and medium-sized car makers have fallen, facing cash flow issues, supplier debt disputes, frozen shares, and even bankruptcy restructurings. In 2024, the EV industry in China had an exit rate of 8 to 10%, with 20 to 30 smaller brands halting or going bankrupt. These include WM Motor, Hi-Fi, and Jiyue. In 2025, it is expected that 5 to 10 more companies will fail, including Neta, Hican, and Yuanhong. To promote advanced manufacturing, Beijing has long supported the electric vehicle industry, using government subsidies and policies. However, due to car makers pushing to meet production targets set by the government rather than responding to consumer demand, this has led to overcapacity. As a result, companies have been forced into a price war. Earlier in the price war, BYD's Qin Plus dropped to 80,000 yuan, Xiaomi's SU7 started at 260,000 yuan, and Tesla offered zero down payment deals on the Model Y. This price for volume battle squeezed profit margins and caused small to medium-sized companies to collapse first. Consumers benefited in the short term, with car costs dropping by 10 to 20%, but the long-term risks are significant, including reduced quality, cost-cutting, inflated repair fees, failing after-sales services, and stagnating innovation. In the first half of 2025, the overall profit margin for China's automotive industry was only 4.6%, much lower than the average of 5.9% for downstream industrial enterprises, marking the lowest in nearly a decade. Data shows that EVs contributed 80% of the industry's growth, but dragged down overall profits. For example, in the powertrain supply chain, profits from batteries decreased by 3.6%, profits from electronic drive decreased by 6.4%, and profits from control system suppliers decreased by 5.1%. It's important to note that the policy support that once fueled the rise of China's EV industry is now hard to sustain. Since 2009, because the central government prioritized economic growth targets, local governments have provided carmakers with cheap land and subsidies to boost production and tax revenues, leading to overcapacity across the country. By 2022, China's EV production exceeded 5 million units, with a market share of 24.4%. However, this apparent prosperity masked deep underlying problems. After 2023, China's economy did not recover effectively after the pandemic, and local finances became overwhelmed. Subsidies for EVs were completely cancelled, with only a few cities retaining purchase tax reductions, which were capped at 15,000 yuan. In 2025, the purchase tax reduction policy continued, but it only covered 30% of the market, mainly in first-tier cities. The industry has fully entered the post-subsidy era, and is now forced to shift from policy-driven to market-driven. After subsidies were reduced, car purchase costs increased immediately, weakening domestic demand and leading to falling profits for companies. Weak demand at home forced companies to cut prices and offer promotions to quickly move their stock, and the price war further squeezed profit margins. According to Chinese media outlet First Financial, despite a more than 30% year-on-year drop in profits for Toyota in the first half of this year, the Japanese giant's profit was still about 1.9 times that of the combined profits of 16 publicly listed Chinese makers. In 2024, China's EV production surpassed 13 million units. With domestic demand saturated, exports became the key outlet. However, Europe and the US have imposed high tariffs on Chinese EVs to prevent dumping. This has created barriers for Chinese automakers' exports. In 2024, the US raised tariffs on Chinese EVs from 25% to 100%, effective January 2025. Tariffs on batteries and parts will rise to as much as 104% by 2025. In 2025, the European Union will impose a 38.1% anti-subsidy tariff on Chinese EVs. Canada will follow in 2025, raising tariffs to 100%, while India and Brazil will strengthen local manufacturing requirements, mandating that over 50% of production be done locally, restricting direct imports. As a result, in 2025, China's EV export growth will plummet from 77.6% in 2024 to between 5 to 10%. This slowdown has led to a backlog of over 1 million cars, increasing inventory costs by 10%, reducing production capacity utilization to 70%, and worsening cash flow for companies. In the first half of this year, the Chinese government took a series of intensive regulatory measures to address the overcompetition in the manufacturing industry. However, companies have reported that the implementation timeline for the new regulations is tight, and the technical standards are unclear, causing an increase in execution costs. U.S. economist David J. Huang noted that the root cause of the Chinese Communist policy contradictions lies in its economic model's heavy reliance on investment-driven growth and capacity accumulation. This model lacks effective domestic demand conversion and a market exit mechanism. The authorities don't allow companies to go bankrupt or eliminate excess local production, while also trying to curb overcompetition. As a result, companies are forced to cut loss and reduce quality, which increases social risks. U.S. consulting firm Albright Stonebridge predicts that about 80% of Chinese EV brands will not survive until 2030. He Xiaopeng, chairman of XPeng Motors, stated that in 10 years, only about 7 mainstream Chinese car companies may remain. Analysts believe that China's auto industry is repeating the mistakes of the solar energy and lithium battery industries. Electric vehicles are one of the new 3 economic growth engines promoted by Chinese leader Xi Jinping, with the other 2 being solar panels and lithium batteries. In August 2023, Reuters reported that the top 5 Chinese solar companies quietly laid off nearly a third of their employees, reflecting the threefold crisis of overcapacity, plummeting prices, and massive losses in the solar industry. Data from the China Automotive Power Battery Innovation Alliance shows that by 2025, major manufacturers like CATL, BYD, and Goshen High-Tech are planning production capacities of 4,800 gigawatt-hours. However, market demand is estimated to only be around 100 gigawatt-hours, resulting in serious overcapacity in lithium batteries for electric vehicles. International experts believe that Xi Jinping's new 3 economic growth engines have all encountered serious problems, and this will have a huge impact on China's economy in the future. Michael Dunn, former senior executive at General Motors in Indonesia and now CEO of the automotive consultancy firm Dunn Insights, pointed out that the root cause of China's overcapacity crisis is none other than Xi Jinping. At the end of 2014, shortly after Xi took office, he gathered his close aides and devised what we now know as the Made in China 2025 policy. Chinese issues experts Yue Shan remarked that Xi Jinping is often called the king of unfinished projects, and that Made in China 2025 is just one of his many unfinished endeavors.